This is CBC Here and Now.
After 8 years, I know I simply cannot make a commitment for another 4 years as MHA.
Jerry Rogers steps down as leader of the NDP and will not run for re-election.
So what does this mean for the NDP in an election year? We'll get to that story just ahead. Good evening and welcome to Here and Now. I'm Carolyn Stokes.
And I'm Anthony Germain. How does a man on parole while serving time for sex offenses end up working in a facility with children?
Well, tonight, the owner of a well-known coffee chain says he was shocked to discover he hired a man with a serious criminal background to work at a sports complex in Paradise. Here and Now's Terry Roberts has been digging into this story and joins us now live. So, Terry, what do we know?
Yeah, well, Scott Hillier says he had no idea that one of his employees, a man by the name of Peter Hoyles, had a serious criminal background. Well, this all came to a head Saturday evening at a very busy hockey complex in Paradise. Inside that complex is an independently owned cafe called Canteen Matters. It's part of the Coffee Matters chain. At about 5:30, RNC officers showed up and arrested 38-year-old Hoyles, one of 3 people working at the cafe at the time. Now, police tell me they were responding to a parole warrant issued by Corrections Canada. We're told Hoyles was not permitted to be in the presence of young people. That's despite the fact at least one of his co-workers was a minor, and the rink was filled with young hockey players at the time. Hoyles is originally from Cormac and is a repeat sex offender. Exactly 2 years ago, he was sentenced to a 3-year prison term for twice forcing a teenage girl to have sex with him. He was handed a similar sentence 4 years ago for a similar offense involving another young girl. Now, he was on parole when he was hired by Coffee Matters just after Christmas, but never told his employer.
We do a character reference check, we do an employment check, and ask a series of questions in an interview as anybody would ask, and nothing had come up, and so it was treated no differently than we would treat any other prospective person who we were hiring. If we had known any idea, that person would never been employed with us.
Now, the cafe was closed temporarily immediately following Hoyles' arrest, and Hillier says he's not aware of any incident between Hoyles and any of his staff.
I'm in shock because the owner of this company and as a dad, that individual worked with my daughter. My daughter has worked for our company. She's now 20, and I have a text message from her stating, "Dad, he's probably one of the best cooks we've ever hired." There was no indication whatsoever.
Scott Hillier says he's not required to do background checks on his employees, but he plans to do so in the future. Now, as for Hoyles, I'm told he is back in custody and likely outside of the province. As for the town of Paradise, it's not saying much since the cafe is independently owned and the matter is still under investigation. Anthony?
Thank you, Terry. The NDP is looking for a leader tonight. Jerry Rogers stepped down from a job that she won just last year. Here Now's Peter Cowan joins us live tonight with details on this surprise announcement. So, Peter, Jerry Rogers, very well known for film that she made. She's a cancer survivor. Any indication that health was at play here?
The good news, Anthony, is no. She said her health is great. Her only issue is she doesn't get enough sleep. So that's not what's behind the announcement that she made today right here in the lobby at the House of Assembly. What she says is behind it is basically she can't commit to another 4 years in politics. She's already been in here for 8 years, and she said she started thinking about this just a couple of weeks ago. Now, as you mentioned, it's been less than a year that she's been in the leader's chair. Today, she says she stepped up because she knew the party needed a leader who had a seat in the House of Assembly, something the previous leader, Earl McCurdy, didn't have. But since she ran, she would have known that this was a longer-term commitment. So what changed? Well, I asked her that after today's announcement. When you ran for the leadership, you knew that this was essentially signing on for through the next election and another 4 years. So what the change then between your thinking when you decided to run from leader and today when you're deciding to step down?
Well, I guess coming to the realization again of where I am in my life, and there are other things I want to do, and now is the right time for me.
Rogers says she never intended to be a politician. She was originally known as a filmmaker and first elected for the party 8 years ago. Today she pointed to some accomplishments, including an overhaul of the mental health system in this province, advocating for women's issues and LGBT issues. And she did recognize that with an election coming up later this year, she's leaving the party in a bind.
I believe that the party is going to be able to step up. There are people who are interested in the leadership, and that will roll out in the next week or so. So I have confidence that the party will be able to move forward.
Now that's what's next for the party. What about for her? Well, she is staying on as an MHA up until the next election, and she'll stay on as leader until a new leader is chosen. After that, she says, well, she might still have 1 or 2 documentaries still in her. Reporting live at Confederation Building, I'm Peter Cowan for Here and Now.
Well, Premier Dwight Ball reflected today on Rogers' legacy as an MHA and NDP leader and says he believes the NDP understands this is an election year and will need to move quickly to get a new leader.
He's a strong activist on women's issues. She played an important role there. When I think of people with affordable housing, things that impact a lot of individuals, in particular seniors and women within our province. Jerry was always a strong voice for that. So I remember her for all of that. And so with that, I think most people will see that as a big part of her legacy. We said on April the 1st, we'll all be in a better position and a better understanding of what the election date will be. So I'm assuming right now, based on the comments from the NDP president this morning, that they understand the time crunch that we're all up against in getting ready for a 2019 election.
Well, as Premier Ball just said, an election just around the corner, and Rogers' departure leaves the NDP in a difficult position. The party will soon be leaderless with a provincial general election that is looming. Here Now's Mark Quinn is live with us tonight as he looks back at the NDP's past and future challenges. Mark.
That's right, Anthony. In 2013, the NDP was riding high in the polls. At 39% of the popular vote, it was tied for first with the PCs. But that all changed when this happened.
On October the 16th, 4 members of the NDP caucus signed a letter requesting a leadership convention in 2014 as a means of renewing our party and the leadership.
In a failed coup, the 5-member caucus tried to oust its leader, Lorraine Michael. The NDP has never recovered, and Rogers' announcement today leaves Lorraine Michael the last woman standing.
No, I will not run for the leadership.
Are you running in the election again?
I certainly intend to run in the general election. Yes, I do.
There's a lot of talk that the Liberals may call a spring election, but the NDP is hoping the government will respect the spirit of the fixed date election legislation.
We would prefer that the legislation was honored and that we would have a fall election, but we will be ready for a spring election if that's what's in the cards.
No leader, and so far, no one has come forward publicly. So what's next?
We'll have more specifics tomorrow on the leadership race, but we want to do it as quickly as possible while still giving everybody the opportunity to participate.
Are you confident that you're going to be able to have a leadership in place by the time the next election rolls around?
100%.
Now, the NDP says it will be looking at a less expensive online sort of leadership race, but it says it will be trying to pinch pennies to save money for the upcoming expensive provincial election. Live in St. John's, I'm Mark Quinn for Here and Now.
Well, coming up in about 23 minutes, I'll interview Jerry Rogers about her decision to walk away from the NDP leadership.
The smile Justin had was a light that, he'd walk into a room and it was brighter than the sun.
A generous young soul. A man from the Goulds would have been 30 today, but he died waiting for a transplant. Just ahead, how Justin Blunden's family is remembering him.
Well, Darren Dodge and his 18-wheeler are back on the road. We met Dodge yesterday during the height of the blizzard racing through the southwest coast. He was cab-bound, stuck inside his transport truck for more than 100 hours in the Marine Atlantic parking lot in Port aux Basques. Trucks like Dodge's weren't moving because the ferries were tied up since last Friday. So we checked back today and found out the weather has improved and he's back on the road.
With the winds the way they were, I ended up having to wait till this morning, and I'm in Corner Brook now. The drive up wasn't too bad. There's a little bit of snow on the road as you get past White's Road, getting closer to Corner Brook, but we made it to Corner Brook, so that's a good thing.
So good news for him and good news for the people in that part of the province. But Western Newfoundland wasn't the only place that got a good dose of snow. Ashley, tell us about Labrador.
Yeah, yesterday I mentioned, Carolyn, that 103 centimeters had fallen in Makkovik. That number, by the time this morning rolled around, was at 108 centimeters. And this is what it looked like trying to dig out of the snow today. Andrea Anderson sent us this photo, and then this photo of the health center of sorry, I just went past that. But the health center there, trying to get out of that took 3 people and 4 hours because that snow is not exactly light right now.
Where do you put the snowblower?
I don't know. That's a really good question. That's just
How do you
a
even
lot
get
of
to the
shoveling.
snowblower?
I have no idea where that snowblower even is.
You're not alone.
But I don't think it would have helped in this situation for sure. And we did see, you know, the winds this afternoon were still whipping around. Gusts upwards of about 76 kilometers per hour along the coast, 94 for Cartwright. Those winds have certainly gone down. As of this hour, 41 kilometer per hour sustained winds in Makkovik. We're going to continue to see these winds ease as we head through the night tonight as a ridge of high pressure moves in. All of that snow moves off, so things will clear out for the most part. Temperatures are really going to dip, though, especially for Newfoundland up through Labrador, sitting in the minus 25 to minus 30 range overnight tonight. Tomorrow doesn't look too bad, at least for the first half. We'll start to see the next system roll in with some cloud cover and then snow, but those winds are going to pick up yet again. So Environment Canada already has a wind warning in the Wreck House area as well as Port aux Basques with gusts between 100 and 120 kilometers per hour tomorrow. And then we've got some blowing snow advisories in place as well. I'll have all those details in your full forecast when I come back.
Death threats at a Bay Roberts bar. Tonight, new details from a witness who says he overheard an argument hours before Dale Porter was fatally stabbed. That story was revealed and challenged today at Al Potter's first-degree murder trial. Here now is Ariana Kelland was in court, and she joins us live now from our newsroom. So, Ariana, what can you tell us?
Well, Anthony, Reg Earl was an acquaintance of Dale Porter. They had went to high school together. So when they saw each other in the bathroom of a bar in Bay Roberts 5 years ago, they struck up a conversation. And this is what Earl says happened next. He says that 2 men walked into the bathroom of the bar and began confronting Porter, allegations that Porter owed the men money. According to Earl, one of the men threatened, quote, "You won't make away with me, we'll make away with you." The Crown says one of those men was Al Potter. The other man's identity is covered by a publication ban. But this witness testimony about Porter owing money runs counter to the Crown's own theory that Porter was killed for making fun of and disrespecting the Vikings Motorcycle Club. The defense challenged Earl today, saying he didn't come forward to police for 3 weeks in an attempt to divert suspicion from 2 other people who were his friends. In the end, when lawyer Randy Piercy asked Earl if he had ever seen his client Al Potter, Earl answered, "I've never seen that man before in my life." Now, the jury also heard today details of how Dale Porter was killed. A medical examiner testified that he was stabbed 17 times, cut 4 times, and was also hit with a blunt object. Of course, this was all happening as Dale Porter's 2 sisters were in the gallery of court. Obviously, very difficult details for them to hear, and the trial is expected to continue tomorrow with even more witnesses. Reporting live for Here and Now, I'm Ariana Kelland in the newsroom.
A St. John's-based company has nabbed a huge contract that will see it become a vital part of a project involving the world's 2nd largest space company. This is a great local R&D story. A company, it's called Secor, is receiving nearly $10 million from Airbus Defence and Space in the UK, and it's going to use the money to design and build a specialized piece of equipment which can send and receive radio signals. Now, Airbus is building a so-called biomass satellite for the European Space Agency to study tropical forests from space and assess how they store and release carbon over time. Now, the transponder needed to communicate with the satellite, well, that's going to be built in St. John's over the next 4 years.
Now, why is this biomass so important, this mission? Because basically it's focused on something that's important to all of us, and that's the environment and how climate change is affecting that over time. So what's a satellite transponder? What are we going to build? What does it do? Basically, the transponder sits on Earth and communicates with the biomass satellite to ensure that the satellite is doing its job, to ensure that the satellite's instruments are working properly, and to ensure that basically the satellite is healthy.
Well, a young man from the Goulds is being remembered as an extraordinary volunteer who gave his all to causes like St. John's Ambulance, the Lions Club, and his church.
Justin Blunden would have been 30 years old today, but he died earlier this month. And at his funeral last week, city firefighters and volunteers alike paid tribute with an honor guard.
The Blunden family sat down with Here and Now's Bailey White to share Justin's story.
It was just his own unique personality that he wanted to do it. We were part of St. Kevin's Parish, and bingos were there, and he said, okay, he said he's coming along. You know, it was funny that people said, well, it's good for you to share him. I said, no, but it's not. We never shared him. He wanted to do it. You know, this was him. He wanted to be part of St. John Ambulance. He went to the Lions Club, and he's got his vest, and he wore that proud, and he just wanted to be there, right? And down in the volunteer fire department, they made him an honorary member. And he was so proud of being a member at the fire department.
He was so cute. He was always there to help, and you know, he'd be the first one to say, do you need anything? And we knew how good he was and how much he inspired people, but the last couple of weeks, like hundreds of people.
He's definitely a phenomenal person, and the inspiration has been passed around a lot today, but he is truly an inspiration and an individual.
We took a family vacation in Florida about 5 years ago, and he picked up a viral infection which struck his internal organs, and it damaged his heart. He had a little issue there just before Christmas, and the heart failure clinic said we're going to refer his file to the Ottawa Heart Institute. So we all went up in January, and he got some testing done. They told him that, you know, we're going to start the heart transplant process in April. So it could be upwards of 2 or 3 years. And he heard that, and he wasn't very excited about that, because he wanted, it was all him. He wanted to be out volunteering and helping people. And that's something that he couldn't do in Ottawa at that time. And he came home, and it was, you know, we see all the signs now, and he wanted to come home and die, you know. There's no, you know, it just stopped. You know, his heart just stopped.
I felt that our precious child, Justin, didn't need the new heart. He wanted to go with his own heart of gold. And he did.
It was such a sad story, Carolyn, and I know on social media a lot of people were talking about Justin Blunden, sort of looking at this was a great guy. He was loved by everybody.
Yeah, had a big effect on people, and it's a lovely tribute.
This weather forecast is brought to you by Newfoundland and Labrador Tourism. 5,000 kilometers of groomed trails are waiting to be explored. Embrace winter today.
Well, this wind is brutal. When is it going to stop?
Just taking it as a given every day.
Yeah, that's true. We will finally start to see some relief tonight, which is good news. Tomorrow morning actually is when the winds will really start to ease off. But yeah, those temperatures quite cold, and with that wind chill, making it feel even colder. So right now we're sitting at about -6 in St. John's, heading towards the coast, west coast anyway, sitting around -10. Same up through St. Anthony. And then we're looking at temperatures in the -teens up through Labrador. Now factor in that wind chill though, it's feeling closer to -27 up through Labrador. Those are going to get even colder as we head through the night tonight. And then wind chills between -15 and -20 for the island as well. Now, taking a look at the forecast for tonight, those temperatures are really going to start to dip down. These temperatures around the -teens will likely dip into the -20s for lower lying areas. So definitely looking at that under those calming winds and those clearing skies. Eventually we will start to see the skies clear up along the west coast. Up through St. Anthony, still looking at some blowing snow in the early part of the evening. Then eventually that will taper off as well. -21 should be your overnight low tonight. Up through Labrador, cold as that ridge of high pressure starts to move in. So clear skies and calm winds for Labrador, Labrador City rather, likely going down to -34, -41 with that wind chill. And then plenty of clear skies for the rest of Labrador. Those winds still sitting around northwest winds near 40 kilometers per hour for the southeast coast there. So looking ahead to tomorrow, you can see overnight tonight things are going to stay clear. We're going to start to see some cloud cover move in thanks to our next weather maker towards the morning hours for the southwest coast, and then into the afternoon for the rest of the island. Up through Labrador, looks like a nice clear day tomorrow, but then that snow will start to make its way in and continue through the night, with the potential to see some ice pellets or freezing rain by Thursday morning for parts of the Avalon. So we already do have a couple of warnings in place out ahead of that system. Wind warning for the Wreck House area, looking at gusts between 110 and 120 kilometers per hour tomorrow and tomorrow evening. And then with that, some blowing snow advisories for the Burgeo-Ramia area, including Port aux Basques as well. So here's what I'm thinking as far as snowfall goes, starting tomorrow, continuing through the morning on Thursday. A good bet 5 to 10 centimeters, and then we could see areas along the south coast, southern Avalon, southern Burin, as well as the Bayswater Peninsula towards even the Bonavista North could see somewhere between 10 to 15 centimeters, and then even more snow as we head through the day on Thursday. So supper time is when you'll start to see that snow for the Burin Peninsula, and then evening time by the time we see that for the rest of the Avalon. Late evening for parts of Central should sit around -10 for Gander tomorrow. Harbour Breton sitting around -6. And then towards the west coast, we'll see the afternoon is when that snow will move in, but the winds won't really pick up out of the east until the evening hours, gusting between 60 and 80 kilometers per hour. You can see those temperatures not moving much from for Stephenville, around -10. Up through the Great Northern Peninsula after midnight is when you'll start to see that snow, temperatures sitting around -14 for St. Anthony, and then plenty of sunshine and chilly temperatures up through Labrador. About -20 should be your afternoon high for Labrador City. So let's look at your forecast. We'll look ahead because there's rain in the forecast towards the weekend. We'll have all those details. Carolyn?
Thanks, Ashley. On to the Burin Peninsula now, and the story of Marystown and what appears to be its two personalities. On one hand, a deep economic discomfort, a fight brewing over the future of the shipyard. On the other hand, growing hope about the aquaculture industry and optimism for a much-needed bounce back. Terry Roberts has more.
There's this.
It's extremely exciting. Long days, little sleep.
We'll see a lot of activity. This is going to be an anchoring industry for Placentia Bay and for this whole region of Newfoundland.
And then there's this.
I can't exaggerate how weak our economy is. People need to go to work. They really need jobs.
Marystown is at a crossroads, at its lowest economic point.
We've had a number of stores close up in our local shopping centers in the last number of months.
Some homeowners pushed over the financial edge.
That's a whole new phenomenon for us in rural Newfoundland to see foreclosures on private homes.
Coffee shop parking lots filled with stories of hardship, frustration about the weak job market, but not ones they'll tell to a camera. A casualty of a sluggish provincial economy and an Alberta lifeline that has been practically cut off. But there's signs of a bounce back, and it's right here.
It's one of our only bright spots in the entire community right now economically.
Slowly emerging from this rugged ground on the shores of Mortier Bay, where the world's largest salmon hatchery will be constructed over the next 2 years.
We're looking for upwards to 200 people on the site every day, working, building this rather large facility.
Right now we are about to install 15 kilometers of pipe across the 3 buildings that we're about to erect.
A $250 million investment, up to 600 direct jobs when in full swing, plus major spin-offs.
We are on the cusp of better days ahead. I think we've turned the corner economically.
Progress in one sector, stalemate in another.
We're ready to transfer the $1 million in cost to purchase the yard.
The iconic Marystown shipyard, 50 years of history, caught in the middle of a tug of war between the town council and the provincial government.
We're losing real meaningful opportunities every week we wait.
The privately owned yard is dormant. The town wants to buy it and lease it to another company with agreements ready to sign and the promise of 200 jobs.
The process is simply taking too long with the province. They need to streamline how these things are done. This process should not have taken 9 months. It's unacceptable, it's too long.
But government has the final say and has concerns.
Sometimes things don't go as fast as in this case the town of Marystown would like, but there's been a lot of information that's been required, and until we get all the information that we need that's required by us, then we cannot finalize or continue to advance these discussions.
It's the story of Marystown right now. Good times.
Our goal is to do a job successful that the client is happy with.
But also uncertainty.
It really means that some people can't put food on their table. So it's much more serious to other people than it is to me.
Terry Roberts, CBC News, Marystown.
Today, I announce that I will not be seeking re-election.
It's time to move on.
A longtime New Democrat is leaving politics. In a few minutes, Jerry Rogers is here to explain why. Welcome back to Here and Now. Well, as we told you earlier in the show, a name well known in the province's political world is saying goodbye to that part of her life. MHA Jerry Rogers announced today that she's leaving politics just 10 months after she was elected leader of the New Democratic Party and just ahead of a provincial election.
This is an incredible victory for social justice and for social democracy.
It was October 2011, and Jerry Rogers started on the road to become a household political name in this province. She was elected as the MHA for St. John's Centre, but long before entering political life, Rogers was a filmmaker, breathing life into more than 20 documentaries covering everything from women's rights to LGBTQ issues. It was a film about her own health struggle with breast cancer that captured international attention and awards for Rogers, even landed her a spot on American daytime television. After entering politics, Rogers became a stronger voice for vulnerable people as MHA, and in April of last year was elected leader of the provincial NDP. Today, the surprise announcement, months before a provincial election, that she's stepping down.
Well, Jerry Rogers joins me now in the studio. Thank you for finding time. I'm going to start with some tough questions. Ms. Rogers, any misgivings that you're leaving the NDP in the lurch by the decision you made today?
Well, I feel very responsible for the decision I've made, and I know that it's not difficult, that it's not easy for the party. It's a really tough time. We don't know when the general election is going to be. I don't have regrets for the work that I've done. I think I've served the party well. I've served the province well. And it is a tough time. I know that.
Right.
But it's a decision that I made, that I had to make.
I guess observers, though, would sort of look back. I mean, you haven't been leader for a year yet. And yes, in that year, you've had some achievements and some accomplishments, which you mentioned today. But had you told people a year ago, I may not stick around for more than a year, do you think people would have supported you?
Well, I think it was really important at the time, after Earl McCurdy stepped down, we knew how important it was to have a leader who had a seat in the House. That was the reason that I agreed to run, to seek the leadership. I hadn't known at the time that I wasn't going to run again. So I could have taken us through the election and then then stepped down. I just knew, Anthony, that after 8 years, that I couldn't do a commitment for another full 4 years.
But shouldn't you have known that when you decided to be leader, even though you wanted to be in the House? I understand that, but shouldn't you have known that then?
Sure, I should have known that, but things change.
Right. What was the turning point? I want you to take me to Jerry Rogers, where all of a sudden something clicks. You know what? I don't want to run again. What was that turning point?
I don't know if I could identify a specific turning point. But I went away. I was away for a week. I took a holiday, and I stopped and I thought, what am I doing? I'm 62 years old. I love our province. I've worked really hard. I think that we have to be aware that at times we have to allow new blood, new ideas. And I thought, it's time for me to say I'm going to move on to the next phase of my life.
So the party's almost reduced to chemical traces in the last by-election, right?
Yes.
200 votes, a lot of questions raised. Why such a turnout? The polls indicate that people may be abandoning the NDP for Chess Crosby for reasons we don't quite get. When you look at the polls, the by-election, was that a push factor for you?
That wasn't the push factor, but certainly one of the factors. And I thought, well, you know, what will capture the imaginations and the confidence of the people of Newfoundland and Labrador?
Right.
And it's perhaps if I step down, if some fabulous, wonderful, dynamic leader steps up, maybe that will make a difference.
But I guess
maybe
a leader has to stick around too, right? McCurdy was just over a year, you're less than a year. I mean, the NDP needs, you know, leadership stability, doesn't it?
They do, and maybe this will open the possibility to that.
Right. What's your proudest achievement? If you were to choose one overall?
I think it was the work I did, my private member's motion, and the community work I did to pull that together for the All-Party Committee on Mental Health and Addictions. Right. And you know, we've seen an overhaul of the mental health system, but that work isn't finished yet. Right. But I think that
Last question, more of a personal note. At your announcement today, I think one of the very touching moments was when you looked at your partner, Peg Norman, well-known business person, very successful business person, and you thanked her. So what has it been like for her to watch you go through this decision?
Oh, it's been really tough for her because I agonized. I think this is one of the most difficult decisions I've ever made in my life. And like many of us, for those big decisions, you waffle back and forth, back and forth. And again, I'm not unaware of the implications for the people in my party, for the people who are considering running. I'm aware of that. But I also feel positive and confident about it. But it was really, really tough for Peg. Right. She hoped that I would make a decision that would be good for me.
Are you going because you have to go? Do you feel pushed, or is this Jerry Rogers' decision?
This is my decision. There was no push for me to leave whatsoever. And when I told the executive my decision, they were very gracious. Mm-hmm. They were very, very gracious, and did not try to push me either way.
Well, in good times and bad times and tough times with the media, you've always been very gracious as well, and you've always made yourself available to CBC Newfoundland and Labrador. So I'd like to thank you for that, and wish you luck, and perhaps we'll see a film of yours in the not too distant future.
Who knows?
All right. Jerry Rogers, thank you very much.
Thank you, Anthony.
For years, volunteers have been raising funds to build this, a permanent home for the Baccaloo Trail SPCA. Not too long ago, somebody ripped off the work site.
With no conscience, obviously, if they're going to steal it, they're going to steal from anybody, a charity or a home.
I'm Jeremy Eaton, and I'll have that story coming up on Here and Now.
Welcome back to Here and Now. A yet-to-be-built SPCA in Spaniards Bay was recently the victim of theft at its construction site. Someone stole about 40 sheets of plywood from the organization.
But then the community rallied. Here and Now's Jeremy Eaton picks up this story.
The building is just a shell, but there's an awfully large sign telling folks who will be calling this home. SPCA incorporated in 2011, and according to the group, it serves around 70 communities from Bay de Verde to Whitburn. And it does it all without a permanent home to call their own.
Out of our board members' home, basically, With this structure here now, that's going to take some of the pressure off everybody involved.
It's been a long time coming with a lot of fundraisers, a lot of cupcakes sold, and of course our thrift store has made a big difference to that shelter fund and getting it started.
Earlier this month, someone entered the construction site and made off with some building supplies.
Approximately 40 sheets of plywood was taken, estimated around $1,500, so it is a bit of a setback, but more morally than financially, I think.
We were all devastated. It was actually a few days before we actually made that statement on Facebook and to confirm that the theft had happened. It was hard to swallow, you know, it was difficult, yeah, to consider someone would steal from basically the whole community and the animals.
Down but not out, the communities who surround the SPCA stepped up.
The community has been outstanding. Somewhere around $1,000 in donation to help make up, and our contractor has agreed to cover the costs. As he put it, it happened on his watch, so everything's coming along good.
So it's been really nice to see. So we've gotten, some extra money to help put in some extra security measures as well. So hopefully nothing like this will happen again.
The theft of the plywood was hard on the volunteers who have worked hard to build this building here behind me, but the outpouring of support from the communities has certainly raised their spirits. Now, despite the setback, they're still on track to have this building finished later in 2019. Jeremy Eaton, CBC News, Spaniards Bay.
Well, the federal government was thrown into full-scale damage control today. Former Justice Minister Jody Wilson-Raybould resigned from cabinet. She's at the center of a Globe and Mail report from last week, and that report claimed the Prime Minister's office pressured her to help Quebec engineering giant SNC-Lavalin avoid some criminal prosecutions on charges of fraud. Now, Wilson-Raybould has kept mainly silent since the report, and today she released her resignation letter that was addressed to the Prime Minister, and in it she says, quote, "I am aware that many Canadians wish for me to speak on matters that have been in the media over the last week. I am in the process of obtaining advice on the topics that I am legally permitted to discuss in this matter." And she goes on to say that she has retained a former Supreme Court justice to be her lawyer. Wilson-Raybould will continue to sit as a Vancouver area Member of Parliament.
And Wilson-Raybould has said she's unable to speak publicly about this case due to solicitor-client privilege. The leader of the Conservative Party is renewing his call for Trudeau to waive that rule. Andrew Scheer spoke this afternoon in Fredericton.
Clear that there is more to this story than what Justin Trudeau is asking Canadians to believe. For days now, he is asking us to take his word that nothing has happened, and now we clearly see by these actions that there's different versions of events.
Well, Mexican drug kingpin Joaquin El Chapo Guzman has been found guilty of drug trafficking charges.
Do I think it was a fair trial? No. We wouldn't have objected at all if we thought the trial was completely fair. No defense lawyers ever thought that they've gotten a completely fair trial after there's a conviction. There are grounds for appeals, and if we didn't think that there were grounds, then I would tell you that it was a completely fair trial.
Federal jurors in Brooklyn found Guzman guilty on all 10 counts. They heard from over 50 witnesses. He now faces a possible life behind bars. Guzman was extradited to the United States for trial in 2017 after he was arrested in Mexico the year before. The founder of the Sinaloa cartel, Guzman was one of the major figures in Mexico's drug wars that have roiled in the country since 2006.
This weather update is brought to you by Beltone, helping the world hear better.
So I was just checking the phone a little while ago, and Tony Power sent us a tweet from the West Coast, and he shared this great picture with us. There you go. That's the MV Highlanders arriving in Port aux Basques.
Yeah, it's the first ferry boat since Friday, a sight for sore eyes, I'm sure, especially people looking for some fresh produce.
Yes, yeah. Made a comment about, oh, lettuce has arrived, and Tony quickly tweeted, yes, but it's now iceberg lettuce. Thank you, Tony. I want to take up a new job as a photographer and give up this truck driving thing.
Yeah, that's good. Well, it's nice to see those finally arriving.
Yeah.
Well, it is Tuesday, so it's another Whiz Kid Day. So this is our newest member, Mia Dober. She is our next intern. She's 6 years old from St. Philip's. It's a great shot there, hey?
She's enjoying a tree.
Drawing. It looks like that, and some birds.
And some birds flying overhead. Nice job, Mia.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah, and there she is.
I was going to say, I think she has red hair like Carolyn.
Oh.
Just slightly
Something in common.
more controlled than your hair.
Yeah, so if
Thanks. Jeez.
I mean that in a good way. Beautiful.
Yeah, so if you want to be our next Weather Whiz Kid, send your drawing and your photo, how old you are, and where you live to nlphotos@cbc.ca, and we'll get you on.
Yeah, be one of those cool fan club.
And I'll send you the postcard in the mail as well, yeah.
Perfect.
So, we're moving on to what's going to happen for Valentine's Day.
Ah, the night for romance.
Yeah, it's going to be...
Sounds like she's planning one.
It's going to be a little...
Is Valentine's Day this week?
Yeah.
In 2 days.
It's on Thursday.
Anthony, you better get on the ball.
Note to self.
Don't have those flowers yet, do you? No. Well, if we take a look at the forecast, that future tracker is showing us that we're going to start to see that snow eventually taper off towards the early morning hours. For the Avalon, it will likely end as either ice pellets or freezing rain or even potentially even freezing drizzle. And then more snow continues in behind that. Generally along the northeast coast and the south coast as well, we could pick up another 5 centimeters of snow, bringing those accumulations closer to 10 to 15, or rather 15 to 20 centimeters by the time Thursday rolls around. And then eventually we will start to see some clearing out. So temperatures are actually going to climb. We're going to see them hovering around 1 degree, more than likely for the Avalon and parts of the Burin as well. So again, that's why we could see either freezing drizzle or ice pellets through the day. And then we're looking at that potential for more snow. So temperature sitting around -3 for Corner Brook, Port aux Basques, 0 degrees, but it'll stay windy through the day. And then up through Labrador, -14 for Nain. That's where most of that sunshine will be. We will start to see that potential for a few flurries for Lab City through to Cartwright, and then down through the Straits as well. Temperatures warming to about -9 for Happy Valley, Goose Bay for your Thursday. So looking ahead, overnight into Friday, that's when we'll start to see things pull out. A quick high pressure system will move it back in again, and then the next system starts to roll in for the evening and overnight hours. And this is the one where we're going to see that significant warm up. So rain definitely in the forecast for most of Newfoundland up through Labrador. Again, that will be a snow event. That'll move out into Sunday afternoon. And then we're going to hang on to that potential for some snow up through Labrador. Otherwise, it doesn't look like a bad Sunday. So here's a look at your forecast for the next 5 days for St. John's and eastern Newfoundland. 5 to 10 centimeters late day tomorrow, falling through the morning. And then the potential for some snow again towards the evening hours on Thursday and Friday. Potential for some flurries in the morning and then some sunshine. And then rain changing over to, or rather snow changing over to rain as that temperature climbs up to about 4 degrees as your afternoon high on Saturday. It looks like Sunday should stay above 0 as well. And then those winds are really going to pick up. Now for central Newfoundland, about 5, maybe 7 centimeters on the way. Into Friday, we'll see potential for some sunshine and -2 with that snow moving in late day. And then that next system, you're going to see temperatures about 5 degrees on Saturday into Sunday, staying above 0 as well. Similar for western Newfoundland right through the weekend. And then up through Labrador, those temperatures are going to be around -16 tomorrow. Plenty of sunshine, which is good news. It'll break from the snow. Maybe some flurries on Thursday. That snow really will move in on Saturday. Temperature sitting around -5, and then western Labrador as well. Sunshine tomorrow, flurries for Thursday. And then Friday, those temperatures will be back around seasonal. So let's look at your forecast. I'll have your weather photo when I come back.
Thanks, Ashley. Well, yesterday on the program, we showed you some stunning footage from Russia, where dozens of polar bears have invaded our far north community.
Now, climate change is partially to blame, but as the CBC's Chris Brown explains, certain human behavior isn't helping much.
It's a polar bear emergency in Russia's high Arctic. As many as 52 bears have moved in, and this open garbage dump seems to be the big attraction, with lots of food to eat and all kinds of other things to explore around town. Anton, get out, screams a woman as a man makes his escape. Curious, hungry bears are wandering into and then out of apartment buildings, past security cameras, and all around neighborhoods. There's a person walking and a bear walking, says the woman's voice, and he doesn't even see him.
So something was put on the open air, available and attractive for polar bears. Maybe the main reason why we have so big concentration of the animals in that place.
Mikhail Stietzhoff, a Moscow-based Arctic conservationist, says people should have known better than to have an open garbage dump, and it's not the first time it's happened. The town Belushia Guba is a closed military community where access is restricted. After polar bears rifled through dumpsters in 2016, the World Wildlife Fund says it tried to conduct a bear awareness campaign. But Russia's military wasn't interested, and it's likely the bears will keep coming back. It's a warming climate that's forcing the bears ashore in the first place. No ice means no seals to hunt, and scientists say the melt in Russia's eastern Arctic is likely even more severe than in Canada. Usually, relocating problem bears hundreds of kilometers away to where there's ice is the preferred solution, but in this case, that may not work.
But it's 50 polar bears. It's not so difficult to organize this transport for one or two polar bears, but how to deal with 50, I'm not sure.
So, until biologists come up with other solutions, this town of 2,500 is on lockdown, with people afraid to go outside and waiting for the so-called polar bear occupation to end. Chris Brown, CBC News, Moscow.
Hi, my name is Billy. I lost my arm in a farming accident in 1996.
We're checking back in with people who have overcome some major life challenges.
Come on! There's people who went through a lot slighter accident and turned out a lot worse than I did. I knew I was very lucky to be alive.
This is My Story, a new series with segments every 2 weeks on Here and Now.
And this is my story.
Billy Woods, coming up on February 13th.
Well, after a grueling 9-day, 1,600-kilometer trek,
The 2019 Yukon Quest sled dog race has a new champion.
Alaskan musher Brent Sass crossed the finish line yesterday afternoon in Fairbanks, Alaska. The race started last Saturday in Whitehorse.
Veteran racer, he ran the quest for 11 straight years before sitting last year out, and he returned this year with a few new dogs added to the team. And of course, they celebrated with a bit of steak.
Oh, good.
Like you would. I can see him dragging that human halfway across the north. I want steak.
Well, another wonderful place to dog sled if you want to. But
Labrador.
Yes. No, it's not.
Oh.
No, it's Serpentine Valley.
Oh,
gorgeous.
Yeah, it's a
Lovely
beautiful shot there.
picture.
Thank you so much to Rob for sending us that photo.
Thank you, Rob. Keep them coming.
Yes, please.
Yeah, NL photos at cbc.ca.
That's our show for tonight. Appreciate you watching. We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night.
Good night.